Right, hello again. This is going to be just a quick bit of footage. As I said before in my films, I'm a woodsman, so I like to respect the trees. And this old girl's putting a lot of low limbs down. What I'm going to do is show you the best way to cut, because at the moment, or I have seen on a lot of wild camping pages and amongst the RSPB, things like that, that people that are camping, they're just literally not doing themselves any favours, or the rest of the camping world any favours, because they're going into sites and they're just hacking away and cutting away. So I want to show you how you can benefit the tree as well as getting your warmth, getting your shelter, whatever it is you want the wood for. So what I'm going to show you here is I've purposely done a wrong cut, okay? So I'm using my handsaw. Now, if you just cut straight in from above, what happens is you'll get the bottom will peel away. Once it can't support the weight anymore, because there's a bit of weight on the end of this branch, once it can't support that weight, it splits. Now you've got to remember that, okay, you can only see a split up to here. In actual fact, the split will be working its way back there. And if I was now to just grab this and part cut it or pull it any further, you're probably going to wind up with that split going back into the tree here. That opens this poor old tree, and she isn't fair old beauty now, it opens her up to infection and disease. And I think that if you're getting something from something, then you should return something, or at least be respectful in the way that you do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece off, get that out of the way, and then I'll show you how best to cut a tree, giving it the best advantage. And one thing I will show you, it's not so evident on here, if you're going to take a big limb off, or if you're going to take a whole limb off if you want, say this kind of diameter for your making your shelter or something like that, then the best way to do it, even if you're not going to use it, is instead of cutting it midway, taking what you want, building your shelter and sod the tree kind of thing, come back to here, and you will always find, I'll do some more film footage at some point that'll show you it in more detail, but you'll nearly always find there's a slight rise where there's a junction on the branches, okay? And what you want to do is you want to cut as tight, leaving that rise in place. You want to cut as tight as you can. So in here I'd be cutting that way, and more times than not, you can't see it on this one, but more times than not you'll see how that slight rise, that is its protection system. That is where it feeds the most nutrients, and that's where it'll heal quicker. And it may be diagonal, it may be straight, but it's always best to cut right to that section. I'm not going to get into all the technical stuff about it, I'm just going to show you how best to cut. So yeah, that's a wrong cut. A wrong cut is just going in from the top, cut through, and then you'll get it tear. That opens it up to infection. So we'll get this video over and done with. It's just a short one. So that one can now be cut away. Right. Okay, so that's that cut away. Now I don't want this, I don't want these low branches, because what they're starting to do, they're starting to extend out from the tree, and all that does over time is it puts end loading onto the branches, and eventually as they get heavier and heavier they will go to the ground, some will root, but quite often they'll break as well and snap. So we don't want that, and we want the nutrients going up into the tree, keep it alive, keep the core trunk healthy. So what you want to do is, before you make any cut, you want to come in underneath. First of all, now this isn't going to show it as much because there's no weight on it anymore, but you cut in about halfway underneath, or until your saw starts to jam if there's some weight on it. Alright, and then what you want to do is you want to come back this side slightly. You can go immediately above it, but normally you just want to be a fraction inside of your cut, and that will give you a nice clean one which you can tidy up and leave a really nice fine edge on it. I could use chainsaw, but I fancied a quiet day today. So I just cut on down through there, and because there's no weight, it's not actually moving. And there you have it. a beautiful, beautiful flat cut. I'm not going to take this one all the way back because I actually want this one to shoot and start to go up through the centre as well again. So I'm going to leave that one there. But that's what I think, you know. We all get things from other things, and I think to some extent, especially in Britain, that respect has gone a little bit. We take and we don't necessarily give back or think about how we can give back. And even in a survival situation, or when I was living homeless where I needed wood, I didn't just go cutting anything. I would pick my trees and I would take out the dead wood and any low-lying branches. Some woods like ash do burn green once you've got a hot fire going and things. So yeah, it's just a quick video to say axes are great, machetes are great. Okay, it might be working off steam swinging them, but for me, if you're going to cut from the main tree, it's kind of respectful to use a saw and to cut it properly. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Any comments? Appreciated. Chat with me. I've got all the ground birds following me because I've been cutting in this area, so the ground's been exposed from the snow. So I've got a full pile of robins following me everywhere. So have a good day, folks, and I'll do another video soon.